right, cool. You feeling good? You looking good? You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. Woo! Ha ha. Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of Doppio Dope. I'm chilling right here. We got Clement Bryant, Pulitzer Prize winning American gentleman. Say what's up.
What's up? Yo, DC Fandome, man.
Yep.
Oh my god, dude.
Now, before we get started, shout out to TJ Sterling and Ray Comics. They're the art that you see around here is from Okamus. Is from Okamus, and not only is it hotness, but he has a Kickstarter running right now, and it's that freshness. You should check him out. So, DC Fandome, it happened, it's happening, it's coming, it's in your streets. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, my young brother?
Dude, that Batman trailer.
Yo.
I was not ready. And usually I'm ready, but I was not ready. Dude, from the moment where you started hearing the chords, I was like, okay, so they got a Nirvana song. And I was just like, okay, this is a definitely different vibe. And just when my man, like, okay, I know I'm getting into it, but like, I just watched it like 3 or 4 times, and I'm hyped. I am legitimately hyped. Like, I think Patton's gonna bring it, man.
I try to tell people it's been a long time. It's been a long time since Twilight, Let It Go. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. And so that we got some new stuff from Wonder Woman. It's been a pretty solid event. And I'll say this. Man. Depending on how good the analytics were socially, on stream, stuff like that, Comic-Con could be in some real trouble.
Yeah.
Comic-Con could be in some real trouble on the business end. Because Comic-Con has leaned so far to the media, which could be taken away and done by Warner on their own, that without focusing on the actual comics or the comic creators, they could end up looking pretty bad after this. But from the Sandman stuff, because this is coming from someone who likes a lot of Neil Gaiman's work, but I've never read the Sandman. But I've seen the documentary on him. I've read a lot of his stuff for like American Gods and like the show, things like that. And it's one of those things where I got opened up to that and really enjoyed that. Then past that, seeing the Justice League, that was dope. Wonder Woman looking good. There's a lot of stuff to get into, but I do like one very interesting line from the Batman thing before we go and talk about different stuff. The cost of your lies. Woo! Yes. That sounds like someone who is a little angry, if you will.
I mean, no, that's not angry, man. That is like that's like nuclear pissed. You know what I mean? So
the cost of your lies.
Man, I think Reed said during the panel that was okay, they've only filmed 25 to 30% of the movie. So they have 70% left. And I'm like, wait, that's the only 25 to 30%?
Yo, it looked like we got a finished product.
It
looked like we got a finished product. I was like, yo, hold up, the movie's not done? Because that looks pretty good to me.
It looks polished. It looked like in the story, you automatically get, okay, you know where he's going, you know where he's coming from. And then when it even cut to the end, to the title treatment, I was like, okay, Reeves gets Batman. He really, really gets the character.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed.
Yeah, it's quality. DC, and I like the way they talked about the multiversality, if you will,
Yeah.
of DC, which makes me wonder if DC is going to continue down this road of we got stories all over the place because our DCU is a DCMU. It's like it's a multiverse, it's a multi-universe. So it's like we can make stories however we want because what we'll do is just use a flash here and there to say, oh, it's all connected somehow. Don't worry about it. And I'm kind of like not against that idea.
And I mean, did you see the multiverse panel with Walter Hamada, Greg Berlanti, and Jen Lee earlier?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
and that's what was leading me to believe that.
Yeah, it sounds like that they're gonna be going hardcore into the multiverse because they saw how well the payoff was with the cameo of Ezra Miller in The Flash.
Yeah, that thing hit social and went fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and because no one expected.
Yeah. Shouts to Jenna James in the chat. What up? Talk about Feige better step his game up next year. Yo, look, I actually like this to where we have MCU doing their thing, DC doing their thing, because the more competition, the better it is for us. Like if I could go back to like, I don't know, maybe like 15, 14-year-old me and be like, look, trust me, I know y'all ain't really got a lot to watch. But when you get older, there'll be so much you can't watch it all. Like just wait. Like you told me how good Stargirl is. I haven't had a chance to watch it. Because when I was thinking about checking it out this weekend, they were like, "Hey, Lucifer is out." I was like, "Oh, dang, I forgot about Lucifer."
And Lucifer, don't forget, is DC Comics. It's still a DC property.
So it's like, once again, it's like, we're in a golden age of geek right now.
Yeah, man.
It's like if there ain't a book or a comic or a movie or a show for you to get into, I can't help you no more. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
And I mean, and even after today, I think we can kind of move. We got to come back to the Batman. We got to come back to the Batman. Legitimately.
So I guess I'll start with the top. I'll start at the top. Wonder Woman. Woman panel. One thing I pulled out that panel is when they were talking about like what's funny on set. And one thing that I thought was funny was they were having a good time, but Patty Jenkins still had to stay and like do director work.
Yeah.
She was like, well, I got to go watch the dailies and while you guys are having fun. And Chris Pine likened it to like the cool kids going to the mall while they're like the nerd had to stay and do homework or something like that. So I thought that was cool. But the trailer, a movie that I've already been sold on before it happened. Shouts to Tony Poirier for saying he was getting memories of cats, but
I mean, I saw a lot of that today.
Yo, it looks good. It looks very good. And the way they sped off that comment, like they left it alone quick, that comment about Nubia makes me wonder, is Nubia in development somewhere? Are they like playing around? I wouldn't be surprised. They're like, oh, Black Panther made $1 billion. Who we got that's black?
I mean,
and who do we have that's black that we can bounce off a series that's already profitable? Wonder Woman's already profitable, so we can springboard off that, and they can do their missions together, do their missions apart, do whatever, have their lives together, separate, be cool, team up when need be. I was like, I wonder. But the trailer, I'm still not mad at the trailer. I was like, word, I'm cool with that.
If they're gonna do Nubia, I think a TV series would be more prudent because she's a smaller character, and you can tell more of the character. And and that's not to say that she's not prominent or she's not deserving of a feature film, but I think you would want to go that way first, and
you could support the kind of like the larger scope of like what this island is about and what these people do. Because we do kind of just like be there for 2 seconds in the film.
Right. And so like if they did a TV series, it should go to HBO Max. We were talking on our last episode about how HBO Max
everything's going to HBO Max, yeah.
So that, or either she's going to be part of the Amazon spinoff that Patty's been talking about. So their way you can go, but if they go that way with Amazon, she's not going to be the lead character because they're going to be focused on the Amazon as a whole. Who's to say that's not a prequel series focusing on Connie Nielsen's Hippolyta? or focusing on Robin Wright's character or anything else. So I think there's room to play with that, but I think they're going to figure out, okay, Wonder Woman's out because now that COVID's hit, everything's kind of on pause. So I think they're going to figure out, okay, let's get Wonder Woman 2 out, and then let's figure out how to move forward with the Amazon show, and then what else can we do?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the key.
Shout out to Jenna James says, I think Cheetah CGI is still not rendered yet. That's why they showed us the darker shots of Cheetah. I
agree with that. But
I agree, but I mean, of course, we know
anything in Cat. So
yeah, and
so
of course, understood. Understood is we got the COVID, so they're doing the best they can. So
yeah,
I'll get that. But the panel and the trailer that we got, I was like, man, looking good, looking solid from this.
And I'm happy from a marketing standpoint that they didn't. You know how some studios will be like, okay, we can't show the last look of the villain yet. We can't show it. They're gonna hold that back until the last moment. They ended up putting it in the second trailer. It was like, thank God, because I think that was, myself included, one of the more questions of like, how is Cheetah gonna look, especially after the kind of disaster that Cats was, and now you have another Cats feature coming, or a character coming into a popular movie that's an adaptation of a popular character. It's kind of like, what's it going to be?
And a thing that I like is you get that line from Wonder Woman where she's like, what did you do to yourself? So it's like, you can see that now we get the idea that this is a progression where she keeps doing this to herself over, and I don't know, steroids, however they work it out, what I'm saying? Whatever they do, however they work it out, she does this. And so that kind of comments on her look too, that kind of helps, like, we know this looks weird because it should. This is a human becoming a cheetah. Like, it should look weird, and it should look like an abomination, if you will, not to reference, the Hulk. Shout out to the chat. Shouts to Pim Griffey in the house. Pim Griffey said it would be dope to get a Nubia TV series, but a Black woman needs to be either the writer or at the very least be a prominent voice in the writer's room. Maybe like a show.
I agree with that.
And Jenna James says, I'm ready for that Black Adam though. Been waiting for a minute on that. But besides a couple things, my thoughts on these DC movies is dang near the same. I mean, Batman and Wonder Woman 84 have my interest. Yep. Man, and we'll get on Black Adam in a second.
But my favorite panel of the day next to the Batman trailer, Suicide Squad.
I missed that one, but I did see the trailer. I didn't see the roll call, but I saw the featurette trailer, and it was cool to see Idris. It hurt that Will wasn't there. I was honestly love to see Will and Idris. I'm not really
missing Will, if I'm being honest.
I would love to see Will and Idris side by side, though.
You froze, bro, a little bit. But
you did? Oh, okay.
I'm not really missing Will all that much.
Oh, go ahead. You good?
You good? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you lie.
That's what happens when you live, y'all.
I'm not really missing Will. I thought I would, but kind of considering that they're trying to go on based off Ostrander's run, his run of comics. And I think this is what we need to see after what that first Suicide Squad movie was. And so now that James Gunn is taking it in a completely different direction, I'm really hyped for this. And one of the things that really helped me get hyped was that roll call, because you were getting a lot of the characters that you wouldn't think. Like, I had no idea that Polka Dot Man was going to be in this movie. They got Bloodsport, Blackguard, Pete Davidson of all people being Blackguard, which I really wouldn't have expected. I was like, wait, what?
Let's see how this works out, though.
And I mean, TDK and John Cena's Peacemaker, which is going to be great. But that whole vibe of it really hit home for me. And especially those are the comics that I was raised on. So I'm really there for that kind of 70s war vibe that they're kind of describing in that BTS trailer that they showed. Kind of emphasized that and kind of reinforced it. But man, I'm excited, man. I think James Gunn is completely playing in his element right now. And I think we're really in for a really, really great surprise because the cast is bonkers, man. Like,
the cast
Peter
is great.
Capaldi is the thinker. I was like, that's such good casting.
Yeah, and then of course,
what?
With this is going again to show us, like with Suicide Squad, each movie can be completely different. Like each movie, because it's just something new is happening, and we're gonna get somebody to go out there. Big shout to Pim Griffey in the chat. Her and Pim Griffey and Jenna James throwing out like Robin Thede, Shonda Rhimes, Mara Brock Kill to work with like Newbie and stuff like that. So I think that's dope too. So Suicide Squad was definitely something that turned my thoughts and ideas around on a second one, because the way I felt about the first Suicide Squad was I felt it was empty calories. It was like one of those things that on the surface is entertaining, and it's entertaining enough on the surface, but after you watch it, you're like, it really wasn't all that.
Yeah.
Like it was there were people with charisma, kind of like I like the Suicide Squad. I don't like the movie that they're in. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. But we're gonna miss our opportunity, guys, to have Idris and Will on the same screen. That would have been cool. It might be a money issue. It might have been an issue where Will was like, "I'm good with this."
I heard it was scheduling too.
Oh, schedule. Yeah, that's another thing. Too. Oh, and shouts out to Jamal Lee with the super chat. What up? What up? Thank you, Jamal Lee, one of his Patreon supporters, holding it down. So one thing that turned me around on WB with this DC fandom was WB Games.
Well,
Gotham Knights.
That's a weird.
Gotham Knights. I have never bought a Batman game. I did pick up. Injustice: Gods Among Us 1 or 2. It was free. And I picked it up and started tooling around. I'll probably play around with it to see if I can get better. But I'm working on Dragon Ball Fighters and Street Fighter 5 right now. But Gotham Knights
looks straight.
I want to get it, and actually, I'm more interested in this than any of the Arkham games. Like seriously, and I was like, yo, this is kind of cool. And I'm wondering if I know they got the 2-player co-op. I'm wondering if they're interested in trying to get that 4-player co-op, because that could be a lot of fun. But then sick. I can't imagine the kind of bandwidth or server space or whatever you need to try to make sure that 4 players could play without. I mean, it's hard enough getting 2 players to play without any kind of lag or like chipping, freezing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So 4.
Well, hopefully, I saw that it's going to be on PS5. So it's going to be on PS4, PS5. It's going to be on Xbox, Xbox One, whatever.
Shouts to the PC folks.
I mean, yeah, true. No, but I'm saying like, I'm just playing. But hopefully that the lag issues, of course, depending on, the speed of your Wi-Fi, speed of your connection, there's going to be a lag issue. But hopefully with the game itself and the systems, that will kind of compensate a little bit for it. But man, the game looks sick. And especially the fact of that Bruce is quote unquote dead. We'll see how much that actually remains a fact by the end of the game. Is an interesting play to go.
I'll quote a Twitter user that said, "All these people mad that Batman ain't there, like he ain't gonna show up at the end of the game."
I'm like, WB ain't crazy, man. They're like, I can see that exec room be like, yeah, we want to kill Batman. Hold on. Wait, what? You want to kill Batman?
What do you mean?
What? Wait, what? We have a Batman movie coming. We have a Gotham TV series. We have a whole multimedia franchise. You guys want to kill Batman? Where do you like? I can see that going that way. Because
it's been a long time since Batman has been sort of completely out of commission, where he was just not a factor.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll see that. I'm pretty sure he's probably just badly injured or something, or someone has him hostage or forced him to, I don't know, make that little video for the Bat family. And I'm also hopeful for DLCs like Damien and stuff like that, to add in things. I think that'll be cool, to have them in there. But, it's one of those games where I'm gonna have to beat it with everybody, and then, Let's see if I can unlock everything.
Kind of playing around with it.
Yeah.
It looks dope though, man. I'm happy for that one.
Was putting in that work.
everyone in my feed on Twitter was like Batgirl, Red Hood. Yep. And everybody was pissed that Tim Drake was Robin. Like, so I was like, oh man, like
why y'all hating on Tim Drake, man?
Like I was like, why y'all hating on Tim? Tim is straight, but
Tim Drake is actually
and you still got Dick. You still got Dick.
Yeah, you got Nightwing.
So I'm like,
you got Jason Todd as Red Hood, and you got Tim Drake. It makes sense. And then get Damian. Damian will be DLC or someone that you can pay for later on down the line. I'm pretty sure. And then we're working with who was the Batgirl? Was it Gordon as the Batgirl? I can't remember who they put in his back, but you'll probably be able to DLC for Cassandra Cain or like any. They'll make sure
and all those cats.
They'll give you more.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, of course. And I think if the game hits as hard as it should, of course they're going to be doing a lot of DLC stuff, kind of in the same way that EA did stuff with the Star Wars game, Fallen Knight, I think.
Okay. Shouts to Tyler Bennett. Tyler Bennett says,
I know I got there.
Was Tim the one that Joker flipped? What do you mean by flip? Are you talking about the one he killed?
It was Jason. I think he's talking about Jason.
Yeah, Jason Todd, who was a little bit. He was a little bit rougher.
Jason, and I mean, I think we'll talk about it. We should talk about it more, but we got Double Red Hood coming because now he's going to be in Titan Season 3. So we should talk about that later.
Yeah, because I don't got no Titans info. I will say I like the Sandman panel. We didn't really get any Netflix news, but I am highly interested in going back and trying to find me a Sandman hardcover to try to get up on all the Sandman stuff because I got my American Guy stuff down between the book and the show. And I like his work. So I'm gonna go check out that Sandman and see what's really good.
I hear you with that one. I think my main thing with that is now I'm really considering listening to the audiobook, but also the Netflix series.
Yeah.
So and we got some tiny crumbs about the Netflix series, enough to know that they've been writing, they haven't been wasting any time. They're giving production designs because that's one thing. Speaking, on the Netflix side is they'll announce something and you won't hear anything after a long time. Forever. Like we haven't heard anything about Avatar until the creators left this past week. So it's like, I'm really happy that they've at least been continuing to work on it because they know if they get this wrong, there's going to be a lot of angry people there because there's legions of Sandman fans. And you have Neil Gaiman fans too outside of that. Yeah. So it's like,
because I'm a fan of Neil Gaiman in general.
Right. So if you don't hit it right, like Amazon hit Good Omens just right. So everyone was really happy. Terry Pratchett fans were happy. Everyone was straight.
Yeah.
If you get Sandman wrong, that's going to be another thing. That's going to be a different thing. So
and shouts to VV in the chat. Nice to see you. Jenna James said, I think that the Batman trailer tone proves that Batman trailer's tone proves that DC can make more R-rated features a la Harley Quinn and Joker. It just requires the correct handling. I believe this will be R-rated. He didn't
talk about the rating at all.
He didn't talk about the rating. And I wouldn't be against R rating. I feel like Warner Brothers would because, they want to get that PG-13 kind of cross-section money. But I wouldn't be against the R rating at all.
I don't think most Batman fans would, but when you're talking from a business sense, when you go to an R-rated feature, you're really, really, really risking making a lot of money. Joker with R rating was an anomaly because so many people were against the movie from the beginning that it kind of created its own precedent, its own mystique around it.
And they also kept their costs down. Batman is something it's a little harder to keep the cost of Batman down. But I'm definitely not against something that's R-rated, but in general, Hollywood needs to bring down its expenditures for this stuff. But when you think about it, like in Wonder Woman, they said they had to shut down Pennsylvania Avenue. It's not cheap. I'm sure it costs quite a pretty penny, if you will,
I mean,
to shut
Pennsylvania
down
Avenue,
the
DC,
street that the president lives on.
like just like, and you know this, you know, we're both DMV residents or former residents of the DMV.
Yep.
Driving through that intersection and driving down that street is a madhouse. So the fact that they managed to like completely shut it down is a miracle.
Yeah, getting down Pennsylvania Avenue is not easy. Anywhere where the marble is in DC is hard to drive around.
It's just like I can't, but I think I know,
like legal seafood and stuff, and around the stadium, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's cool stuff out there, but it's just driving there, and you're going to pay $1 million to park.
Street.
And man, it don't get cool until you're like in Southwest or something like that, or Southeast or something. Yeah. But trying to be like in DC, it's gonna get rough. It's probably best to ride a train in and walk. Get you some comfortable shoes.
That's why I love the metro. I mean, it's right.
The metro closes early though, but that's a whole.
Don't let it be summer. But we should probably get back to it to keep the interest. Like, man, you bring up a good point with the production cost. And like, what were you gonna say?
Oh, just the sheer amount sometimes I think can be shaved off by 50 million here or there, and then maybe we can go for more R-rated stuff because Joker didn't cost $200 million. Like,
and the other thing is,
so they can kind of you know do that, even though Tyler Bennett did say sales versus impact, which I get that too. But Warner Brothers care about themselves, and AT&T now cares about themselves.
Exactly. And the thing with the difference between the Batman is the Batman has a cast of all known peeps. Colin Farrell, Paul Dano, Zoe Kravitz, Robert Pattinson. You have Matt Reeves directing. Jeffrey Wright. So it's like those people don't come cheap. Their costs for actors don't come cheap. So they're automatically, that budget's already ballooning before you even get to the production cost. So it's like,
before we start paying for the insurance on the production, on the production, the paying to feed everybody every day,
transportation,
not just the actors,
security,
all the crew. Yeah, man,
it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I think if they went with complete unknowns, then you risk the movie not having a marketability because you're like, who are all these people except for Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, nobody wants to interview, because basically the reason they get big names is because those big names draw interest to the night show interviews. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's the only reason why THR is interested in it. So THR will do a story, and then you're People like, I want to read about this. Yeah, they'll read about it, and they'll be interested.
And I mean, it's a whole system. So I think that's
Suicide Squad, I don't know if they released that rating either.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they released any ratings.
I don't think
they just showed the trailers themselves.
And it might be even too early. I know Suicide Squad is like in the editing process, and Batman is still in production. So it's like, it might be too early to even warrant, the MPAA looking at the film and being like, okay, you can have this rating. Word. Or we're going to give you this rating and we're not changing our mind about it. And that's the other part too, is the MPAA. Like, they have a handling those ratings too. So,
and shouts to Jenna James said, by the way, they just released Hans Zimmer soundtrack for Wonder Woman 84, which was smart. And then they said, then she said, how did a fan get a hold of the Snyder Cut trailer that hasn't even been shown anywhere online? It had to be someone from inside who leaked it. Oh, you get that? There were a
lot of leaks. There were
Conspiracy J.
There were a lot of leaks. Like last night, I saw the Flash trailer before it dropped.
Ooh.
It was out last night.
That's another thing that I didn't get to see. So let's go in and get into the Flash. The Flash was I saw like the beginning of it, but I didn't see the trailer. I did see Hobo Barry, #Hobo Barry in the spot. I saw that.
But how you gonna disrespect the man Grant Gustin like that? How you gonna do that, man?
I was like, man, Hobo Barry up in here. But
oh my god,
you know what I'm saying? The Flash is cool. I don't watch Flash anymore, but the Flash is cool. I've enjoyed it.
You should watch.
They've given
Recommend
me 48 hours of enjoyment and dope content. They've done their job. You know what I'm saying? Any new stuff that I might not be into is for someone else coming up behind me that loves it. You know what I'm saying? You can't. It's hard for me to be mad at 2 solid seasons. You know what I'm saying?
I will say though, season 6 was a return for him. New showrunner. New showrunner.
All right, then
so
I hit Netflix and go back and check it.
Yeah. But yeah, so like Flash panel, but man, we got to talk about the Black Adam panel though. Black Adam.
Shouts to the Rock. Shouts to the Rock. So there's going to be a shift in the hierarchy in DC.
In the DC universe. I was like, oh shit. Like just the opening dialogue of that kind of interactive art teaser trailer that they showed.
Yeah.
I was like,
and because Black Adam to a certain degree is a character that is opaque when it comes to morality. Because he's not particularly depending on if you're people of conduct, you're like, yo, this dude protects us, he keeps us safe, especially during the year of the villain stuff. So it's like, yo, he keeps us safe, he got our back. Thank God for Black Adam. But then you also have people like, you know, Superman that might be like Black Adam needs to be put down. He needs to be handled or controlled or taken care of, or you know what I'm saying? Or even someone like Shazam might be like Black Adam goes too far. You know, so
and let's not forget we're supposed to get a Shazam versus Black Adam movie.
Yep. So we'll see
Fury of the Gods.
How long, we'll see how long it takes to get that. I will say I'm surprised. Well, most of them are already phased out, but I'm surprised someone hasn't put together a quick string of like drive-in theaters nationwide to be like, look, we can still do this, y'all. The party can still roll.
See, and I think I saw a lot of people, when we talk about Wonder Woman, not to go back to Wonder Woman, but like a lot of people were talking about, you know what, I really want to see Wonder Woman, but I will wait until it's on home video or home like streaming before I get it. And like, honestly, if they don't take advantage of doing drive-in theaters, they have enough time to plan that right now. They're going to really lose a lot of audience because they're running into that with Tenet. A lot of people were being like, yo, Tenet's a dope movie, but I'm not going to the movies right now because it's unsafe. And so
it's going to be a while because you have the actual effects of coronavirus. So let's say coronavirus, say we get the most lofty projections is January. Let's say we get the vaccine in January. It works. We get everybody vaccinated and everything's cool and COVID-19 is essentially gone. You know what I'm saying? Gone as much as like the common cold is. You know, it's gone. But then you're still going to have the societal effects of people not feeling safe going out for probably another 6 to 8 months. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So let's say it takes a year to vaccinate everyone. It'll be probably another 6 to 8 months. So we're going into almost 2 years before people feel like, okay, I can go outside without a mask and I'll be safe. Or I can go, another industry that's probably going to get killed. Buffets are done.
Oh yeah.
I already haven't liked buffets, but buffets are finished. You think movie theaters are finished? Buffets are finished.
So that's gone. So I think you know, I did like the way that I went to FYC screening, which is like for your consideration Emmy screening for The Mandalorian about a week and a half ago. And the way they did it was I had everybody, the parking passes at the Rose Bowl, and everyone was like, okay, line up. You have a step and repeat for the car if you want to get on the big screen, if you want to show your car off a little bit. And when you park, they brought the food to you. I didn't have to pay for anything, but like they brought the food to you. They were like, they put a little marker for them. Okay, you get this meal.
Y'all didn't holler at NERDSoul for that, so y'all wrong. I'm just letting y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all once again, AT&T, hey.
That's Disney, bro.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Disney. Sorry, Disney. Did you lose my number? I know you got my email address. Yo, what's popping?
People in the chat ain't trying to hear this, man.
You killing me, man.
Anyways, you killing me. No, I'm just messing with you. Killer. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no, man, like Black Adam, man, it really looks legit. I'm really, really happy with the way that the direction looks so far.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like it seems like The Rock understands the character the same way that Matt Reeves understands Batman. That's gonna be key. And I'm really happy that he's so passionate about it, because I think when you have actors and writers and directors who actually know kind of the psyche and understanding of the character and why they do what they do and their machinations and motivations and everything, and they understand the relationships that they have, you're gonna get a good movie. And I think we're in store for a really good one, Black Adam. The JSA though, the Hawkman on Dr. Fate. Yeah, I'm happy that they're bringing Dr. Fate into the movieverse right now. That's
and quick shout out to Muhammad in the chat. What up? Yes, Snyder Cut does look fire. Jenna James said, "I wonder who they cast as Hawkman. Rumors True Blood's Alexander Skarsgård is top actor in WBDC's mind." Also, Tyler Bennett says, "Isn't hiring The Rock quote the highest paid actor setting up for some kind of economic casting move?" Oh man. And then also, quote, "Call me, bro," in the Kanye voice. That's right, man. Call me,
bro.
Yo.
There is an economic, but it's like anything that is economic, they weigh the cost of it. And then also it's like compared to the old days of comic movies, it's not like stunt casting where they're doing it where you're hoping like, okay, this guy we're gonna pay him $50 million and he's gonna turn in or phone in a performance. This is actually, okay, this guy might be expensive, but look at the casting, like his acting ability is built up, the popularity is built up. You're not just casting these people. And Matt Reeves doesn't really do anything halfway. So I think as long as like there's kind of like a good cause and effect, and also they're getting what their money's worth and the actors are fine, it's gonna work out. Because also compared to what they were doing with Ben Affleck in the Batman movies, I think, and that was also a different studio team. Now you have Walter Hamada still in ship of DC Films. I think it's going to be a completely different thing where we're all getting what we want out of this movie. So I think that's going to be key, because Walter Hamada, when he's like, he strikes me as like a less shy Kevin Feige, someone who's like, or more shy. He's like more shy. He prefers to really be in the background of things, not really being kind of the fan discussions where Kevin Feige is like, no, I'll talk about X-Men.
I got this.
No, I'll talk about Galactus with you. Oh no, I know who that character is that was introduced in 1970 of X-Men #1 that nobody talks about. So I think that's the difference between those two. So, there's a risk, but I also think it's going to pay off now that we've seen that footage. That's going to be key.
Definitely. And shout to Jenny James says, "Is it possible Green Lantern was not mentioned because Jeff Johns is attached to that and there's current issues regarding the Ray Fisher's BTS accounts of unprofessionalism?" Yeah, I do want to touch on that for a second.
We should talk about that because I have a different fact.
I saw the headlines talking about, an investigation has been started over the recent comments. I was like, recent comments in Twitter years? Like Ray Fisher's statement was like 10 years ago. No, it's not. I don't know, maybe 5. But
it's not like that.
I'm like, y'all just starting to invest? I'm like, we don't forget. We've talked about it. I've forgotten about it. And now
on the corporate side, it takes forever to get things going. Like
the wheels move slow.
It's been a long-standing rumor in Hollywood that Ellen DeGeneres might not be the person that she pretends to be on TV. I've known about that for 4 or 5 years, right? Yeah. But now, and I'm sure Warner Brothers knew about it, but now they're actually kind of did that kind of investigation, not to take out of the DC universe, but things work slowly, or people are too invested in the money to see everything that's going on with the people on the side.
My thing with
it's like
Ray Fisher, the only thing that I was mad at Ray Fisher about was like, dude, like, why you wait so long? Like, we need to know this. The reason we need to know this is so we can get behind you when the fire is hot. Like you waited until the fire was cold, smoldered out. He done got his money, left and everything, and now you like, yo, y'all, guess what happened to me? It's like, yeah, we'd love to get behind you, and I'm still behind you. I'm just saying, like, we could have did something then. Like now, this dude done got his money, ran off, probably
But
got
they're not
another
going to do
job or
that though.
something. Well, yeah,
But
I mean,
the way
technically,
it
it's not going to
works,
do nothing now. I mean,
I mean, it may not do anything to Joss, but
yeah,
Jeff and John Berg, that's a whole other story.
true.
And I
Because
think
Jeff and John Berg are still there.
they're still there, and Jeff is still working. He's the showrunner and and writer, chief writer on Stargirl. So that may affect how that second season of Stargirl turns out, depending on the direction of the investigation. But also, Ray couldn't have done it back then. But also, I think doing it right now to him, because he could have waited until after the Snyder Cut came out, until he started getting more jobs after the Snyder Cut, to be like, okay, this is how I feel about it. But now he's kind of put a parlor kind of sting on his name a little bit, because he's kind of just being like, okay, I got the Snyder Cut, so I can say whatever I want to say and I'll be fine. And I know he said that he doesn't really care about his work. He doesn't care about his job, because he's always about, telling the truth. And I forget what it is, like AE, I think it's like accessibility or something like that. But I'm like, and no one else is coming to his defense. That's a risky kind of thing to do.
One, no one's coming to his defense. And two, when you say, all I care about is telling the truth, then someone can easily pull your card like, well, what happened to truth back then? Like, what was up with the truth 3 years ago or 2 years ago? Or was it that you was getting your money, so it was all cool? Like, and not to dog him out, just saying like, dude, we need to know this stuff at the time so we can get the momentum for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I think some of the most emotional stuff had to do with him and his father. But like now,
I will say that
it's like, what we gonna do now? Except be like, yeah, that sucks.
Get back to the question. I think that one, if they were ready to show Green Lantern, they would be showing at the next DC Fandom event on September 12th, because that's like it's more of a TV kind of thing. We only got a couple of TV things today, which is kind of weird that they did like movies and games today. But so that's either going to be with the HBO Max stuff, the CW stuff, whatever, the Netflix stuff. That's going to be with that one, or it's too early for Green Lantern. That's the other part of it.
Good point.
While there's been rumors about where the direction is and what the story is going to be, it might be too early for that.
Good point.
So,
good point.
And I mean, believe me, that is one that I have my eyes on, but I think it's possibly, like I said, too early for the fact of, we'll see it. Of course, I don't think they're going to really lead off Green Lantern, no matter how much the press, how much it's damaging, because most normal people don't know that Jeff Johns is associated with Green Lantern. Anybody who's not us, anybody who's not us, they're going to be like, okay, fine.
just the average person that's like, hey, I want to see it, they don't know.
They're not like, I like the showrunner, I like the writer. Oh my God, this is this next to that. It's like they're not in that kind of mind.
Jenna James did drop something that I didn't know about. Said WB is searching for Alexandra Shipp type to play Cyclone in Black Adam.
Yeah.
Meaning people like Logan Browning, Vanessa Morgan, Amanda Stenberg, Yara Shahidi, Kiersey Clemens are those who are there looking for, which to me, I guess makes sense. My issue with that, but I know. Because I can't I can't control the industry. I am tired of it. And I think that the further we progress in history, trust me, I'm not the only one who's tired of it. And I think they're going to continue to get their feet in hot water, because the people that are of that hue are not the only ones that are talented, and people are going to start, it's not going to get better. People aren't going to start complaining less. And not to say that those women aren't talented, but to say that women that look like that, what I would say kind of like when I talk about like CW casting a very specific Black woman, their opportunities are much greater than someone who has a different skin tone. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see. But I do think the longer we go along in history, the more and more they're playing with fire by saying we're looking for Alexandra Shipp type, or even having that energy out there. You know what I'm saying?
And we already know that Alexandra's ship, at least how it comes to the relation of Black Twitter and social, we know that they're not really feeling her. So I think
Alexandra's ship, no, but you know, so Yara could be cool because Yara doesn't really she doesn't really get into that mess.
I think Yara is probably the best one, or Logan Brownie could be good for that too.
Yeah.
But it's always, I think, you know, one of the things, you know, that I always talk about is, and I'm probably sure you're probably sick of it, is like, I'm always focused on the creative, but I'm also on the business side because that's what I do. So it's like, I'm all for casting people of darker skin color because that needs to be a thing. I'm tired of seeing, you know, light-skinned women for, you know, Black skin characters. And I think some of the thinking is rooted in 2001 casting of Halle Berry and Storm, whatever. But there's also the fact of we need a name. We need someone that at least someone has some sort of fan base to.
And then, of course, that goes back to the very beginning where if they're not casted in the first place, they cannot build a name. Then they're not a name. Then people can't say, well, choose this person because they've got a name. So it's like, it just feeds, the problem feeds itself. And it's frustrating. But we're going to slide that to the side. That's we can't. I wish I could wind and solve that today. I wish I could be like, and it's fixed.
That's not that. I'll say this, and then we move on. But like, that is something that it's gonna take very brave people in Hollywood that have actually status, like an Ava or someone like a Greg Lyons, to be like, no. I'm tired of this. You know,
we're gonna
let's
get
do
such
something else. Yeah. So I think, and that's the way that it's gonna have to be. So
Kim Griffey said they just bet not try it with Storm or Nubia if we get her.
No, I'm talking back.
And also shout to Keith in the chat. Keith Cooper's up in here from Blurtish. What up? Talking about what I miss. Everything, but nah. But shouts to Zeus in the house. But I'm ready if you ready to talk about some Snyder Cut.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about
chop.
I know we were talking about it in our DMs earlier, but okay.
The music is whack. I'll just get it out there. The music is whack.
I'm not trying to be a hater because I'm really interested in seeing what Zach is gonna bring. But man, that I can't support that music choice. Like that
music was whack.
That was a whack music choice to me. I was like,
it's
the moment I see Darkseid on screen.
It reeks of Hollywood trying too hard to like use the same kind of emotional beat over and over. How many times has Hallelujah been used in anything? Dude, break the mold.
Everything.
You're AT&T. You own Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers Music. I mean, let's be honest. There's really 3 record companies and a whole bunch of subsidiaries. Warner Brothers Music, Sony, and Universal. That's it. Yep. There's really just 3 record companies. So Warner Brothers has a wealth of music to go. And hallelujah, but let's slide that. The music was dumb. It was a stupid choice. But what I saw was a movie that seemed to provide way more context. Even in the trailer, then I was like, oh, okay, so that's an interesting way for that scene. Or I didn't see that. Okay, where'd that come from? Now, and the only thing is to not give Zack too much credit because this isn't really the Zack Snyder cut. This is Zack Snyder taking his cut and then also adding in brand new stuff. So this is us just seeing like, okay, this is the movie that I already shot and made. We're shooting new stuff too. So let's not all throw this like this was what was done and on the cutting room floor in 2018, 17, whenever that was. And he's just
2017.
17.
Yeah, the movie came out in 2017.
Putting it on the screen. Yeah, and he's just putting it on the screen. No, that's not what's going on. We're getting essentially a whole new movie to a certain degree. It's like a whole new movie or a whole new show, I guess, with sort of some similar bones. Because like that scene in the cornfield, the scene from Aquaman stepping away from Amber
Yeah.
Heard. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's stepping away from her, so I mean, I understand. But but then also the look of Dark Boy. You know what I'm saying? And then the
Desaad
look
or Steppenwolf?
Steppenwolf. And then
Okay.
also the look of Darkseid was wow.
I
I am not mad as far as the visuals. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. You
okay.
know what? I used to clown you, Snyder Cut folks, but you know what? Not mad with what I saw.
I'm not mad with what I saw. I have a little reservations about how
Questions?
Darkseid looks.
Oh, okay,
Reservations.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's the fact of the visual effects and the work on him isn't fully completed yet. It seems a little off to me. It seems like a weird kind of amalgamation to like make him more rugged, like less polished than he is, and like the forms of media that we've seen in the comics and the video games and the TV shows.
Yeah.
That we've seen him in. He seems more of a gangster. Like from the out, he seems like more of a gangster coming.
Well,
to, like,
you know, this is Zack Snyder.
Yeah, take over.
This is
true.
It rains every
Very
day.
fair.
Everything's dark. Even when it's full sun blast outside, you think it's like 9 p.m. So it's like, this is still Zack Snyder. Let's not front like this.
But, you're right. So, but at the same time, of someone that's waited to see Darkseid on, it's not the big screen anymore. It's HBO Max, but like in a theatrical kind of presentation, I'm like, I don't know how it feels. I guess I just have to see more of it. But I'm kind of just like maybe right now. I did like what I saw, but I think overall for me, I want to see what Zach is leaning towards, and maybe it's because he's showing us so much already getting into it that I'm kind of like, okay, maybe. But we have a 4-hour cut, 4 episodes or 4 episodes of a
nice little
miniseries. Yeah. And they said they're working on a way to assemble it to one film, and the international folks are going to get a way to watch too. So because they don't have HBO Max internationally yet. So I'm kind of like, I'm on the
Warner
fence
Brothers
right
messed that up. So
I mean, we ain't gonna get into that tonight.
We ain't gonna mess with Warner Brothers and their bad HBO rollout. Shout out to Star Drew. What up? But we're getting it. We're getting the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, we're getting it.
It looks good. I take back. I remember. Shouts to Keith Cooper from Blurdish in the chat. I remember talking to him and being like, y'all, and also Ephraim from Atomic Podcast. I remember being like, y'all ain't never gonna see that Snyder Cut. Give it up.
The fact that we're talking about it.
Like, you're never, ever gonna see it. So I take that back. People, I have been corrected. You will actually see it. It is going to come to light. It's happening. Think y'all are lucky that HBO Max is out, because I think if HBO Max didn't exist, y'all would never see it. But
that's the key.
But y'all are going to get it. I retract my previous statements to all Snyder Cut people. I retract my previous statement. You will get to see the Snyder Cut. Well, not in theaters, but you'll be able to see it on your own TV. You know what I'm saying? I hope you got more than a 19-inch TV or something in your, them little baby TVs or something. I hope you got something better than that. But you will be able to see it on your phone or something and enjoy.
Yep.
So
so we'll see.
I give that to you.
We'll see how it looks. I'm like,
Jamal Lee said he looked like doo-doo. Talking about Darkseid.
I mean, thank you.
And Jenna James said,
I was just like,
Jenna James said, Momoa said, you ain't finna get me like you did my homie Depp. He's like,
nope. Yo, Momoa has not been seen in anything Justice League related, except for the posters, those old school posters in black and white. He has he's been kind of hands off. And I think maybe because he's doing that movie with Jeff Johns and John Berg, that's Frost and the Snowman movie. So who knows what's going on with that? But shouts on the regular, it's like,
Oh no, go ahead.
No,
you good. Go. All right. Keith Cooper said, how can I see Fandome stuff? I think it's DCFandome.com. but they're doing a replay of everything over.
But you got to get into it now because it's 24 hours only. So you got to get into it now. But you can see
only.
the trailer.
It is.
But you can see the trailers on YouTube and stuff.
It seems like a pre-recorded, joint. The whole thing seems pre-recorded, but it's cool. There's some cool information there. Shouts to Jenna James says Jay Washington was streaming it on his channel, but it should all be on DC and HBO Max's YouTube. Wow, that's a bold choice, Jay. That's a bold choice.
I mean, a lot of people do that, and Jay's my boy, so
Jay, that's a bold choice right there.
I like Jay Washington is good people. So
Jay, don't get that channel really snatched. I'm just saying.
He won't get it. He'll be all right.
Don't get that channel snatched.
But I'm for the Snyder. I'm for the Snyder cut. I'm just kind of like, let's see how it turns out.
Yeah. I'm way more hopeful for it now than I ever was.
Yeah.
And I'm actually interested in something that I have been like, I don't care about for years. I'm like, look, what we got was in the theater. What we got is what we got, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
I will say the one thing that I am happy about with the Snyder Cut is it seems like Zack is actually kind of, you don't see a lot of filmmakers actually kind of really involve themselves with the fan community. And I think that's a really cool thing about it. And also the fact that they set up a fund for suicide prevention because of Zack's daughter.
True.
So I think those are two, if anything, those are really two good parts of this that I'm really happy have come out of this. I will say for our the film, I'm like, okay, let me see how it turns out. I am excited about Black Suit of Superman because that was a thing that I heard about. I worked on DVD release, so I heard rumors about it, and I was like, is this a really true thing that's going to happen? Who knows? And I kind of didn't believe it until I saw it happening. So I'm like,
be able to see it.
Yeah, we'll see it. I guess we should talk about the Flash real quick. That was a really interesting panel. That the way that they kind of put together that panel was really weird. It kind of seemed like it was built around Ezra Miller's personality. But man, we got a shot of that concept art of his new costume, but also him with Keaton's Batman. And I'm like, they didn't confirm anything with that, but you saw that. I was like,
it's going to be a Flashpoint
confirmation. Right.
Yeah,
and I was like,
they'll probably use Flashpoint to merge a lot of stuff or to explain a lot of stuff or reset a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, look, we're going to reset a couple things. We're going to merge a couple things. We're all going to do it through Flashpoint.
And I mean, I hope that Kirsten Clemens is still Iris West in this Flash movie because it's gone through many iterations.
Man.
Yes. I mean, Rick Famuyiwa was originally attached to be the director. Then it went to I think the guys who worked on Spider-Verse were attached at one point. And then Jonathan Francis and Jonathan Francis Daly and one other guy, they were attached to it. And now Andy Muschietti's doing it. So I'm like, I hope she's still in the movie. And then we also got confirmation earlier this week through Vanity Fair that Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I was like, this definitely points towards a Flashpoint-y type thing.
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm not on board yet, but I'm interested.
All right. Shouts to the chat. Jenna James says, hoping by the end of Flashpoint they replace Ezra with Grant. Oh man.
Damn.
He just has a stupid run to me. But that's a whole other thing. Jenna James said also watching this in the Laker Blazer game. That's right. Lakers, go Lakers, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Go win. That's right. LeBron, hey, you still owe me $5, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'll hold you down.
Oh man.
I know you in the bubble right now, so I'll get it back from you later. But last, I guess we should end this off with some good old tasty the Batman trailer talk.
That's all I can say. I am so on board with this movie, and I think this is the Batman movie that I've been wanting. Like I am automatically there. Just the way that we don't
the
get
way
the
they're
Batman voice
framing
where
it.
he's like, it's really perfect. And the way the Batman voice is not like, I'm Batman. It's not like really grizzled, aggressive, layered, and like 5 different layers of Pro Tools or whatever and Avid. It's like, I am vengeance. And then it's like, okay, that was a shitty impression. But it's like when he says I am vengeance, I was like, ooh.
Yo.
My spider senses tingle. And I'm like, what?
He whooped his whole right? The whole
and
he tried to hit him. He was like, smack, smack, punch, gut punch, broke your arm, slap you in the back of the head, throw you on the ground, punch you a couple times, and then look at these kids like, take that stupid makeup off.
And the smartest thing that they did in the trailer, they held on the Joker Squad's reactions to that beatdown, and they were like, oh, okay, we don't want to be messing with this cat.
They're like, maybe I need to stay in school.
Yeah, right. But man, he just goes, I am vengeance. And even the way that you start to see Jeffrey Wright and the way he's moving and the way he's acting as Gordon, I'm like, yes, this is straight. You know, Andy Serkis is gonna be Alfred. Man, this cast is stacked. I love the way that
it's solid, man.
It's solid, man. Like I can't say enough good things about this trailer because honestly, I was happy they went with someone different, not like muscle bound jock. They went with something like someone like Pattinson. I was like, ooh, and you know, I screamed.
Like he's got a physique, but he's not huge. You know?
He's not jacked. He's not jacked like Affleck was.
So it's not well because Affleck was more towards the Frank Miller crazy like box of a man.
But and I'm happy that they went it. But like I was at work when I saw the tweet happen, and I was like, ah! And everybody looked at me like, what is your problem? I was like, no, this is gonna be dope.
It's out. If this is only 25% of the movie, I'm like, yo.
Yeah, right.
We're like, it's in good hands. And once again, this lets you know when it comes to Matt Reeves, all these projects that Matt Reeves is on, and then there's creative differences. This is another notch in the belt of Matt Reeves to be like, yeah, we might have creative differences, but I was right.
And I mean, look at his filmography.
Kingsman 2 or the second Kingsman movie, which was still enjoyable. But besides that, I mean, most of the time he's always coming with them flames. Like
Matt Reeves, dude. I mean, you look at the whole Apes trilogy.
He looks like a 3rd grade social studies teacher, but he gives you an ill Batman movie.
I mean, and even like when we talk about the Apes trilogy, there's 3 movies.
Yep.
He didn't do the first one. He did 2 and 3. And now everybody's like, no one remembers the original director, which was Ruger Wyatt, that did it. They talk about Matt Reeves. So this is the thing where you're talking about Matt Reeves co-created Felicity. You know, he did Cloverfield. So I think, you know, I am there with it. When they said Matt Reeves is doing this and they have Michael Giacchino doing the music, you know that this movie is going to be on all cylinders.
It's going to be solid, man. This joint looks like we done. We finished. Mic drop this and we out.
I cannot put into words about how excited I am about this movie. Because I was kind of tired out on Batman. I was like, oh, another Batman movie.
Yeah, me too.
Affleck. And I
pulled me right back in.
And then I was like, I am sucked back in. I'm like, I'm gonna go watch this trailer another 6 times. I'm gonna be up to fucking 3 or 4 a.m. watching this trailer, man. Like, it's only like 2 minutes, and I'm already like, why didn't I have this Batman before? And this is the tone. Even when you get to the title treatment, it's like, wow, he gets it. Yeah. And I know we were talking last week about Mattson Tomlin, who's the co-screenwriter.
Yeah.
So
I gotta give him his props. We was making fun of.
I know I'm talking.
Maybe he did this he did this in a drunken stupor. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he did. Maybe he did Project Power in a drunken stupor, and then
Maybe it was his first thing.
his mind was in the Batman, and he tried to do something else and just came out whack. Well, not whack, just average. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, it's Project Power is a fine movie for like, you know, I'm gonna sit back and chill. I'm not going anywhere. Just like some popcorn, blah blah blah. Chill with the boyfriend, chill with the girlfriend, kind of thing. That's what it is. But when you get to the Batman, there is no room.
Catwoman looked dope. Gordon looked dope. Batman looked dope. The car, man, freshness. Oh, shouts to Star Drew said Jack the Ripper. I really thought that was Hush. For a second, I thought, but then I remembered the period of time this movie is happening. So it can't be Hush. Because but I did think that too with the whole duct tape and everything. I was like, is this? Then I was like, nah, it's too early to be that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at a Hush movie because a Hush movie brings in a lot of people, but it's also built on a lot of history.
That has to be like a second or third movie kind of thing with the new Hush. Yeah. I think that's our version of the Riddler. I think that's a new version of the Riddler. Don't take it on fact because I was just talking about this with my friend. I was like, man, this is a completely different tone than what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, man. What's the chat saying?
We got Jenna James says, to all the people saying MCU this and that, they did have a huge event where they announced a whole bunch of cool stuff last year at Comic-Con and even more at D23, and absolutely nothing has gotten released since because of COVID. Marvel doesn't need an event. They need to be able to release 4 things they had planned to this year. Yeah. It's like,
and I mean,
it's
now,
true.
And I mean, now and you know, I know we're getting off the topic of DC, but like we're talking, they're putting out Mulan with that $30 fee to test if it's feasible to put out the rest of their stuff for the rest of the year. Because there's no way that Marvel
30 is a bit high, but we'll see how I think a solid 20 would be, for me, I don't know. It's something about 20. I think 20 is right there. I think 30 you're kind of reaching, but I do understand why they're charging 30. Because you're also getting to own the movie after it. So, you know what I'm saying? You're also getting
as long as you have
Disney
Disney Plus.
Well, yeah, as long as you have to have the service to get it in the first place. So yeah.
But I mean, for me, it's not because it's like go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, you go to the ArcLight, you're paying $15-$20 per ticket, and you're not talking IMAX. You're not talking IMAX, D-Box, anything like that. Nope. You're talking regular seat. Then, okay, if you're going on a date, you dropped approximately $35 to $40 on 2 tickets. And then you got popcorn with ArcLight's prices. Then you got the hot dog, and then you got the alcohol. And don't let you have now a dinner when you go to the movie. You're probably dropping a good $70, $80 to go to the movies on a good date. So I mean,
I've seen that, you know, like say even something that's more accessible, like say AMC. You're still say if you're not doing AMC Prime, your average nightly ticket or, you know, evening ticket is going to be like what, maybe 13 or so. So you and your girl, or you and your boy, or you and your husband, whatever, that's right around 26. Well, that's almost 30 then. You get that popcorn, popcorn is $18 by itself. No. But, so it's like you're paying for the movie, you get to keep the movie, you get to watch the movie, and you get the convenience to watch it at home. So 30, I'm just thinking of the audience perception of 30 as opposed to 20 being, it might be, but you got to start trading your audience somehow. So
and the other thing is,
here's the thing: if Mulan messes around and makes something like $500 million in the first week, we gonna have Black Widow like 2 weeks from now. Like, trust me, they are not gonna hold back. They're gonna be like, look, we'll pay whatever we got to do to cut the contract with AMC and all these dealers. Look, because if I'm gonna make X amount of dollars on my own and I ain't got to split it with them, then I'll break that contract and pay whatever penalty I got to. Because I mean, you see,
and they did it.
See how, you know, Trolls did. Trolls killed. But Trolls did already have marketing. So this will be a little different.
Trolls had marketing, and also Trolls, as opposed to Mulan, is more of a 4-quadrant movie. For people who are aware, 4-quadrant is, it appeals to all demographics, all ages.
It's a kids movie, so.
Whereas Mulan, some parents might not want their kids to watch something that is akin to a war movie. So that's a whole other story, which I know we haven't seen yet. But also, let's be honest. Now that we had DC Fandome, Marvel Marvel and Disney do not like to be forgot about. They want people to remember, we got Black Widow, we got Falcon and the Soldier, we got WandaVision. Oh, wait, we got Hawkeye. Oh, wait, no, we have a whole new Phase 4, Phase 5 movie. We got Blade coming. They don't want people to forget. So if this happens and people are like, okay, fine, they're going to hit that price point, bring it down to $20, and then you're like, okay, great. Boom, Black Widow, I'm there. They're probably, and that's the thing.
I can see in the chat, Jesus is go. I can see all the DC fans. They feel DC, y'all feeling good right now, so y'all want to dunk on MCU. You don't have to dunk on MCU to love your own stuff. I know this is in this American culture, we're pushed to the only way we can feel good is by pushing someone else down. But you can live your best life while someone else is also living their best life. You don't have to you don't have to like diss Marvel, or Marvel doesn't have to diss DC. To I
agree,
especially if y'all don't own no stock in these companies. Like I'm just saying, if you haven't put in on that stock on Warner, and you know what, I should have got some Warner. Once they announced this, I should have bought some Warner stock. So that's my fault. But anyway, outside of that, bought some Time Warner stock or AT&T stock. But anyway, point is, guys, look, this is all for us. Ain't no need for Star Wars fans to hate Star Trek fans or Marvel fans. Marvel is for everybody.
That's gonna continue.
Yeah. Marvel is for everybody, just like DC is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, it's like, look, it's like, don't slip. Now I will say, keep your eyes on them stocks. And get your see if you can get your hand on a couple. Like right now, Time Warner I think is holding around like $30 or so or something like that. Like go on and get yours because it's gonna keep rising. I should have got some before Fandome happened because I know on Monday it's probably gonna pop, but it's look, man.
It's looking straight, man.
This event made DC look real good.
Yeah,
the video game looks hot. Wonder Woman looks hot. Snyder Cut actually has my interest, where at first I did not care. And the Batman is looking...
A lot of people did.
On 25% of the movie. Kind of like Jenna James said, and folks, this trailer is based on 25% of the film being shot. Only 25%. Mind blown. Yeah, only 25% of this is done.
Dude,
and it
Matt
already
Reeves
looks...
is the truth. Man, and now I want to see Tenet because of Pattinson. Because Pattinson is boring. He said 2 lines. He said 2 lines in the trailer, and I'm already like, yo,
he said, I am vengeance.
And like, vengeance. And I thought he was gonna say the same thing. Like, I am vengeance, I am night, I am back. Like, I am there. Like, yo, if COVID is gone by the time this joint comes in, I'm bringing you. I'm bringing my girlfriend. I'm bringing her for friends. Like we going
bobbing up that joint. Like it's
like I'll be walking in with the zoot suit and everything. I'm just like, I am so there, and I'm so happy that they are actually letting Reeves do his thing.
Bro, I will say
that. Go ahead.
It's crazy. I was watching the trailer and my scouter blew up. I was like, yo, it's over 9,000, son. It's over 9,000.
It's so good, man, and
it's crazy.
I'm like, I think the strongest thing that I can say about this, it shouldn't be. But the strongest thing I can say about Warner's and DC now is it seems like they're actually sitting back and listening to people, because that wasn't the case with the older administration of that was in the studio under Kevin Dushara. So I'm like,
it looks like they're definitely like, hey, we've got a multiverse. Why don't we just continue to make movies however we feel like? These 4 or 5 movies can be in their own section and they can all deal with each other. This one movie over here can be by itself and it don't matter. That movie over there and this TV show can match. Cool. Because it's our multiverse. We don't have to be Marvel, which is great. That's what the fans wanted in the first place. We don't want y'all to be the same. We just want the same quality. You know what I'm saying?
They've been listening.
Yeah.
They've been listening, man. So I think you know, the fact that they are listening and that it seems like there's definitely a progression in the old days of DC versus what we have now. I'm very happy. And don't forget, we didn't talk about the Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Oh, yeah. Fury of the Gods,
So
man.
we just got the title. So, you know, I really think that we're really.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get some Black Adam in there.
I think that end credit scene is going to have to be a Black Adam tease because that next movie is going to have to be Black Adam.
True.
Or Shazam versus Black Adam, sorry.
Yeah.
But in the same way that we got that first tease in the first movie, you know? So, you know, I'm happy, man. And
it's dope.
Now
once again, guys, we are in a golden age of geek. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I will tell you, if you can't find something to love now, I can't help you. Between a book, I'm about to review, there's 2 novels. They're about to do a Thrawn novel for Star Wars. There's another novel that they did for Dr. Aphra. Then you got all this DC stuff, all this Marvel stuff, all this Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated series. There's so much. If you can't find, if you outside in Twitter, Facebook land, Instagram hating on something, I can't help you no more. All right, because I ain't even going to tell you what it was like in the 80s and 90s. All right, so if you can't like something now, I can't help you. I can't help you.
Wait, before we cut off, we got to talk about Milestone. We got to talk about Milestone. And I'm not trying to keep people around, but we got to talk about Milestone.
So
Milestone is back.
Stick around, everybody.
Milestone Comics, they're Milestone Media, and the fact that we have confirmation that they're working in early development of a Static Shock movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to thank you.
Relaunch podcasts, new comics. They're bringing back the old stuff digitally. And they got Mark Bernardin to host the panel. Mark is a cool cat. I've met him like once or twice. I'm really, really, really happy that they're going about this the right way, man. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that's back.
Now we know that Static Shock is most likely going to be their first foray. They didn't really say whether it was going to be TV or film. Well, they did say feature film, but then they talked about TV for some stuff too, where I'm wondering if they're going to use Static as a vehicle. Yeah, kind of like open us up to Dakota and then kind of let everything else, because Rocket and Icon is dope. Hardware would be a dope TV show. You know what I'm saying? It might be costly, but it'd be a dope TV show. And but it's, you're talking about someone who built something that, you know, the company took it from them and now they're using it for all the wrong reasons, and he wants to be able to stop them because he feels responsible. That's something that anybody can relate to. And Hardware could be a dope, and you could probably do, say, half the episode in, you know, corporate boardrooms, and then half of the episode whooping people up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but Static Shock, because there's so much that can be done with his powers, all we need is a really, really hot script, man. And I think people will be happy about it. I mean,
man,
I'm ready.
And we've been waiting. I don't think maybe they'll do an animated. Maybe they saw the success of Spider-Verse and they're like, we can do that with Static. Or
you know what?
It action.
Wouldn't be. You know what?
But we've already had animated Static though.
Yeah, but an updated version. Imagine a whole. I wouldn't be mad if the Dakotaverse was done in a way where it was animated. Because if it was animated at the level of Into the Spider-Verse, I wouldn't be mad at that. Then you don't have to worry about age of actors. I mean, Bart Simpson's been like, what, 10 for like 50 years? You wouldn't have to worry about actors'
you're not
ages.
Wrong.
You wouldn't have to worry about, and you could do way more effects-wise because it's a drawing as opposed to like someone paying for pyrotechnics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wouldn't be against that, man. That could be cool. Like if
I wouldn't be against it.
Like, Or you can mix it up, have some stuff animated. You can have like an animated series of like Hardware and then the live action, but they're in the same universe, similar to what they did with CW with Vixen, the Vixen like small short series that was kind of like a movie that was just chopped up. But that also tied into the TV series on Arrowverse where, you know, she was on the actual episodes. So
right.
There's tons of ways you can do this now.
There's tons of ways.
I'm ready for it. Just kill it, man. Just crush it. Milestone deserves the love and deserves the energy. Just like, I mean, imagine if the care and energy and passion that's been put into the Batman trailer could be put into a Static Shock project.
Yeah.
We'd be up in here bugging out. So
I mean,
DC looking good. And besides Sandman, we didn't touch any Vertigo stuff.
No.
So there's tons of stuff that they could do in the supernatural realm, which is mostly Vertigo stuff, which we haven't even.
Don't forget, now you're talking about the supernatural, we still have Justice League Dark coming.
Oh yeah, we do still have Justice League Dark.
They for all the stuff that they gave us today, there's even more stuff that they're holding back on. So, I mean, we'll see. But
Tyler Bennett said Static Shock needs the single father narrative to be able to pull off. I guess he hasn't finished his other statement yet. And I see you. We always killing kids' parents, man. Superman parents gone, Batman parents gone, Wonder Woman parents are mean.
It's an archetype. It's an archetype for.
I know.
But you know, it's like I'm just.
Jenna, Vertigo is sort of donezo on DC, but they still own the IP. They can still do whatever they want with it.
They can still do.
If they wanted to make, if they wanted to make like Lucifer lunchboxes, they could because they own the. That would be weird. I
they could do Gen 13 if they wanted to. They could do a lot of stuff, but
that would be weird.
Right now, I mean, but yeah, they're sticking to a lot of stuff that they know fans will be happy to see, and then two, things that they can make money on that are going to make the shareholders happy. And the other stuff is stuff that they can use to prop up HBO Max. That's where they're focused on.
Because I feel there is a very large audience that has a fervor and an appetite for the supernatural. Because if you look at CW's lineup, for most of CW's history, there's been a lot of supernatural content on there. And it's all been watched and it's all had an audience. And you got a whole line of comic books that's all, not saying that it all has to be like kind of teen facing, but guess what? Those people that were watching like Charmed or whatever, or watching Supernatural early on, or watching like Vampire Diaries, guess what? They're adults now. So you can have a mix of stuff that's, aimed towards kids. I mean, not kids, kind of like teens or adults or young adult, like some freeform type stuff.
See? Exactly.
So the door is always open. And I think that's something that they might be sleeping on, but who knows? There might be a mood board in Warner somewhere full of stuff that we just don't know about yet.
And like I said, Walter Hamada is now steering the ship at DC. And I'm sure that he knows you have him and Jim Lee kind of steering the ship a little bit. So I think with both of them on board, once we get past this iteration of all the DC stuff that's coming out now, they're going to start hitting the Milestone comics, because don't forget, Jim Lee was on the Milestone panel.
Yeah,
and Jim Lee was instrumental in bringing that back. He was instrumental in bringing it back. So I think we should keep our eye on it and also be hopeful, but they're going to get past this stuff, what's going on now, and be like, we got Green Lantern coming. We got Justice League Dark coming. Okay, we got Stargirl season 2. Let's do you know what I want? Here's the thing I want. I want a Question miniseries. Since I read the Question, I want a Question.
Question is a very interesting character, and also a miniseries that I think you can do with a decent budget. Like, it doesn't have to be huge. You know what I'm saying? But the Question is an extremely good character. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to the Question. some of the best
I mean,
stuff
big stage,
on
man.
JLU was with the question. So I ain't got no problem with
I
the
mean,
question.
no, the question is dope, man. So we'll see what happens, man.
But yeah,
But I'm
Icon,
excited.
Rocket, definitely. Static Shock, definitely. And then maybe just a revolving door of, you know, in and out villains dealing with the Blood Syndicate. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
you keep dealing with that, and you know what I'm saying. They have a fertile ground for Milestone to win. You know, Milestone can be its own thing, make your own movies, and do. It can be sweet, all right. Milestone Media,
it could be dope.
Look,
We could do it.
We pulling for you. Don't.
But
don't.
They're not going to. They're not going to. They're not going to. But I think we should probably wrap it up. We've been on.
Yeah, we've been on for a minute,
bro.
We've been on for a minute. So, guys, to the chat, Jenna James, Star Drew, Lynn Gregg, trying to put the math of Wonder Woman 84 together. Zias B. Lou. We had, did we have Marquise Collins? Can't remember, but we had Jamal Lee, Pim Griffey, Keith from Blurtish, VV. We had a whole bunch of lurkers. So, guys, hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit that thumbs down if you don't. But if you don't, I'm going to send the Batman after you. And you know he ain't playing.
Any other questions before we leave? Any other questions before?
Do we let's see. Someone said they better catch Virgil right. That's all I'm saying. Get Maceo Smedley, Alex R. Hibbert on the Shy, Miles Brown, Miles Truitt, Lonnie Chavis, something like that. Is it Jahai Winston? Or Caleb McLaughlin. So
Miles
Jenna,
Truitt.
You already
Miles Truitt.
Yeah,
Miles
so
Truitt.
Don't look. Yeah, don't.
But
don't mess it up.
He was already on Black Lightning though. He was on Black Lightning. Ugh. I mean, but maybe we'll see.
He was on Black Lightning.
We'll see.
That does mess it. Well, I mean, you can always be like, this is an alternate universe. This is another universe. So
you're right.
He can be whoever.
I mean, Lonnie Chavis should be straight too. I think that here's my worry with Stack, and I'll say this and we should wrap. I don't want them to go with Caleb McLaughlin because he's always a fan casting. I ain't got no shade against him. But I definitely want to see someone different, not just be like Caleb McLaughlin. Okay, boom, he's here, and it's like he's Static. I'm like, okay, cool.
All right.
Because I think that's my thing with Static. Because you go with like, okay, who's young, who's hot, who's a name, and who can play Static. Caleb's going to be on those lists. And not that I have a problem with him, because I think he's a good actor. I want to see a little bit more versatility, especially for Virgil, you know?
Word up.
But that's what I'll say.
With that said, Star Drew also said Deathstroke Knights and Dragons is out today. I want to check that and see. I'm hoping that's good. And I'll probably have, a discussion about that too. But guys, thank you for rolling through. To my right, Clement Bryant, Purple Star winner, Purple Heart winner.
Don't lie to people.
Emmy nominated director, amazing man. Clement Bryant, say what's up.
Find me Twitter, Instagram at Clement Bryant. I talk about fitness, comic books, marketing, digital marketing. I'm all around geek. And I'm not a Purple Heart winner, but that remains to be seen.
And of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. YouTube is the hub, so you can hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. But share to your mama, your cousin, everywhere. And if you like to listen better, then get your podcast on. Podcast can be found anywhere. And if you like that music, I got that Spotify for you too. Get your head nod on. So with that said, speaking of music, I'm gonna leave y'all with Arcatron. That's right, ARCKATRON.com. Amazing beats. Shouts out to him with the new release of music called The Space Bridge. That's right. Holla at him. He's crazy good. He has mad skills. So salute to Tyler Bennett. Zias, hey, we here. And until next time, this is from us to you saying thanks for watching and peace.
Peace.
Peace. Check out that Arcatron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.